The galaxy had long assumed that humans were insignificant, a minor species barely capable of interstellar travel, and certainly not a threat to grand empires that dominated the stars. Yet Earth had quietly been preparing, building fleets in secret, advancing technology in ways no other civilization had anticipated, and training minds that could solve problems that had confounded alien species for centuries. When the first warning came, it was subtle: small colonies on the outer rim, reporting strange signals, unusual energy readings, fleets appearing and disappearing faster than any known propulsion could allow. The Galactic Council dismissed the reports as anomalies, mere accident of hyperspace navigation, but humans had already begun mobilizing. Captain Aaron Blake stood on the bridge of the newly commissioned battlecruiser Horizon, his crew calm, disciplined, each member selected for skill and resilience. As they plotted a course toward the outer rim, they encountered their first alien patrols, sleek ships of polished metal and alien design, confident, arrogant. The patrol assumed the humans would flee or surrender. They did neither, instead deploying a new type of stealth cloak combined with decoy drones that disrupted alien sensors. The humans moved unseen, closing on the patrols until the last moment they revealed themselves, unleashing a volley of precision strikes that disabled the alien ships before they could call for reinforcements. The Council, back on Corvallis, watched the sudden disappearance of their fleet with disbelief. Orders were given too late. Humans had already withdrawn, leaving only wreckage and signals of distress. The human strategy was not brute force, but tactical superiority, exploiting the Council's overconfidence. Analysts had assumed humans would be predictable, slow, but every move was calculated, coordinated across multiple fleets. The Council convened an emergency session, voices rising in panic as reports poured in from multiple sectors. Entire patrol groups vanished without a trace, yet no human fleet remained in their expected locations. Ambassador Lena Torres communicated with the Council, her tone calm, controlled. Yet underneath was a steel of someone who knew the galaxy would soon learn a truth it had long ignored. "Your fleets have underestimated us," she said, "and that mistake will cost you dearly." The aliens dismissed her words as diplomatic posturing. But within hours, humans struck again, this time in the asteroid belt of Aurelia, deploying automated mining rigs retrofitted as weapon platforms. The Council's flagship, the Aurelian, was caught in a trap that should have been impossible to orchestrate. Humans had studied every patrol route, every signal pattern, every defensive protocol, exploiting weaknesses no alien commander had thought possible. As the Aurelian fell silent, the Council finally realized humans had been observing them for decades, learning, evolving, preparing, not just for defense, but for domination of the very regions the aliens assumed were secure. Fleets that had once patrolled confidently were now stranded, isolated, cut off by human ambushes. Every step humans took was measured, efficient, a combination of intellect, discipline, and audacity that no alien species had seen before. Scientists like Dr. Rachel Morgan had developed propulsion and weaponry that seemed to defy physics, cloaking devices that render entire fleets invisible, disruptors that could disable shields without a single human casualty. The Council's panic spread, communication breakdowns, arguments over strategy, every decision slowed by fear and disbelief. Yet humans moved with coordinated precision, taking control of supply routes, communication nodes, and critical star systems before the Council could mount a cohesive response. On Earth, President Daniel Hayes oversaw the campaign, his decisions guided by decades of preparation. Humanity was no longer the species, dismissed in council chambers. They were a force that had learned the language of war in the shadows and now spoke it fluently across the stars. The first major confrontation came at the Lythor Expanse, where multiple alien fleets converged expecting to crush the humans in a decisive battle. Instead, they encountered what seemed like chaos, ships appearing and disappearing, flanking maneuvers executed with uncanny timing. Human commanders anticipating every move, every assault repelled. The aliens' numerical superiority meant nothing against tactics they had never conceived. Every victory increased human confidence and sowed further panic among the Council. Strategic colonies that had been considered secure fell under human control without a shot fired, using psychological operations, communication jamming, and simulated reinforcements. The galaxy was beginning to see humans not as weaklings, but as predators capable of patience, cunning, and overwhelming force when necessary. Intelligence networks fed back to Earth showed the Council fracturing, suspicion and blame eroding centuries of alliance. Admiral Victor Kline led a combined fleet toward the Rima cluster, a stronghold considered impregnable. But through careful infiltration, diversionary attacks, and synchronized assaults, humans disabled defensive satellites, rerouted reinforcements, and neutralized command structures, one by one. Star systems fell under human command. The Council scrambled to respond, dispatching fleets to counterattack. But every effort was met with superior human tactics and unexpected technological edge. Throughout the galaxy, colonies previously indifferent to Earth's existence began aligning with humans, recognizing that the era of alien dominance was over. It was a turning point, not through brute force alone, but through superior planning, adaptability, and the indomitable will of a species once considered insignificant. Humans proved that control of the stars was not determined by size or resources, but by ingenuity, courage, and a refusal to accept limitations imposed by others. By the time the Council realized the full scope of humanity's power, it was too late. Humans were no longer just participants in the galactic order. They were taking command, shaping the future according to strategies forged in patience, intelligence, and unwavering resolve. The stars themselves seemed to bend to human ambition, as fleets moved with coordination and precision that no alien species could match. The Council, once arrogant, now fractured and desperate, understood that their miscalculation had allowed a species to rise far beyond what they had imagined. Every victory further cemented human control, and every defeat of alien forces sent a clear message. Underestimating humanity was the greatest error in galactic history. The Council struggled to comprehend the speed and precision of human expansion. Fleets that had once been considered the apex of galactic power now found themselves outmaneuvered at every turn. Humans anticipated patrol routes, hyperspace lanes, and even diplomatic maneuvers, using intelligence gathered from years of observation and subtle espionage. Captain Mia Caldwell of the battlecruiser Vanguard coordinated with other human commanders through quantum-encrypted channels, allowing instantaneous strategic adjustments that no alien fleet could detect or counter. Entire systems were secured with minimal human presence, utilizing automated defense grids and AI-controlled interceptors that simulated much larger forces than actually existed. The Council's attempt to rally their forces only resulted in confusion, miscommunication, and panic. Alien admirals argued over strategy, often contradicting each other, while humans executed a unified approach, combining psychological warfare, misinformation campaigns, and surgical strikes. Colonies that had once been loyal to alien rule began to defect. Inspired by the undeniable demonstration of human tactical brilliance, Ambassador Jonas Mercer engaged in covert negotiations with neutral species, offering protection and technological assistance in exchange for allegiance, creating a coalition of support that further isolated the Council. The humans' technological edge was staggering. Engineers like Dr. Elena Vargas had developed adaptive weaponry capable of analyzing and countering alien defensive systems in real time. Energy shields were rendered ineffective, propulsion systems overloaded, and command networks disrupted without a single human ship being destroyed. The Council's response became increasingly desperate, dispatching fleets to block key supply routes. But humans anticipated these maneuvers, creating feints and decoys that lured alien forces into traps. Every engagement eroded the confidence of the Council. Admiral Kline's forces executed a daring operation to seize the Dorathus Nebula, a critical resource hub, using stealth transports and cloaked frigates to bypass orbital defenses. Once inside, human marines deployed precision strikes to disable control centers, capture energy cores, and secure strategic positions. The alien defenders, confident in their superiority, were systematically overwhelmed by tactics they had never encountered. The operation's success sent shockwaves across the galaxy, forcing previously neutral systems to reconsider their allegiances. The Council's propaganda failed, unable to counter the evidence of human capability and discipline. On the political front, President Daniel Hayes addressed the United Human Coalition, emphasizing unity, strategic patience, and ethical engagement with conquered or allied systems. His speeches inspired loyalty and determination among both military and civilian personnel, demonstrating that humanity's strength was not only technological and tactical, but also moral and psychological. Meanwhile, intelligence operations uncovered hidden weaknesses in alien governance, exploiting rivalries between species, bureaucratic inefficiencies, and reliance on rigid command hierarchies. Human strategists used this knowledge to orchestrate multi-front campaigns, stretching council resources thin and forcing mistakes that were swiftly exploited. Battles in the Koroth sector exemplified human ingenuity, where vastly outnumbered fleets used asteroids, gas clouds, and magnetic anomalies to mass movements, ambush enemy formations, and neutralize larger ships with pinpoint strikes. The Council began to recognize a terrifying pattern. Humans did not merely react. They controlled the tempo of conflict, dictating where, when, and how engagement occurred. Psychological warfare extended beyond the battlefield, with targeted communications demoralizing alien populations, encouraging defection and fostering mistrust among council species. Scientists like Dr. Morgan continued advancing experimental technologies, from adaptive shields to instantaneous resource transporters, allowing human forces to maintain a logistical advantage that made them appear omnipresent. Council attempt to counter these advancements failed. Every new deployment revealed further human ingenuity, forcing alien fleets to abandon traditional formations, tactics, and doctrines. Entire alien navies were immobilized by uncertainty and fear. On the diplomatic stage, Ambassador Lena Torres leveraged human victories to pressure neutral species into support, creating a network of alliances that further weakened the Council's position. Humans demonstrated that mastery of information, communication, and technology was as decisive as military power as human influence spread. Key Council systems were quietly co-opted, alien infrastructure repurposed, intelligence networks infiltrated, and defenses reconfigured too. Human advantage. The perception of inevitability shifted, and the Council, once confident in its dominance, faced the realization that humans had already rewritten the rules of engagement in the galaxy. Every encounter showcased the adaptability, creativity, and strategic brilliance of humanity, from countering alien swarm tactics with coordinated electronic warfare to turning defensive orbital platforms into offensive weapons. The pattern became unmistakable. Humans exploited speed, intelligence, and coordination to achieve overwhelming results without the need for massive numerical superiority. The Council's panic escalated into chaos, with conflicting orders, misaligned fleets, and widespread defections eroding their command structure. On Earth, President Hayes convened the Strategic Council, integrating intelligence, military planning, scientific innovation, and diplomacy into a unified framework that allowed humanity to act decisively. The once dismissed species had become the arbiter of galactic destiny. Captain Blake's fleet executed a bold maneuver to seize control of the Orveth Gate, a hyperspace nexus critical to Council logistics, utilizing cloaked transports, decoy fleets, and synchronized strikes to neutralize defenses and secure passage for human reinforcements. Alien commanders were left scrambling, unable to predict human intent or counteract their movements. The Council's desperation only fueled human confidence and precision. Strategic victories accumulated rapidly, demonstrating that intelligence, preparation, and adaptability could defeat numbers, firepower, and arrogance. Humans proved that mastery of strategy, technology, and psychological warfare could bend the galaxy to their will. The Council's arrogance, once unchallenged, became its downfall as humans continued to consolidate power, forge alliances, and demonstrate an unstoppable combination of skill, determination, and ingenuity. The realization dawned across the stars that humans were no longer a species to be dismissed. They were the architects of a new galactic order, commanding the stars with resolve that had been underestimated at every turn. Humanity's rise to galactic command continued with relentless precision, the Council scrambling to adapt to strategies they could neither predict nor counter. Captain Mia Caldwell's Vanguard fleet executed operations across multiple sectors simultaneously, exploiting hyperspace anomalies, using adaptive cloaking, and deploying AI-guided strike crafts that appeared in unexpected locations. Alien forces, confident in their technological superiority, found themselves repeatedly ambushed there, communication networks jammed, and supply lines severed, while human engineers developed autonomous repair drones and quantum-link logistics systems that allowed fleets to sustain operations far from home bases. President Daniel Hayes oversaw the integration of military, scientific, and diplomatic efforts, emphasizing a coordinated approach where each human action had strategic, tactical, and psychological impact. The Council, witnessing successive defeats, began fracturing species that had once been staunch allies debated surrender or defection, and internal conflicts undermined their capacity to mount unified resistance. Humans exploited these divisions, using misinformation campaigns, covert operations, and targeted strikes to destabilize command structures. Admiral Victor Kline led the decisive assault on Trivani Corridor, a key supply and communication route for the Council, employing decoy fleets, automated mines, and adaptive disruptors to disable alien ships. The Council's response was chaotic, fleets arriving too late or in the wrong sectors, while human forces consolidated control over critical infrastructure. Civilian populations across the galaxy began to recognize humans as protectors rather than conquerors, inspired by the discipline, efficiency, and fairness displayed in human-occupied systems. Ambassador Lena Torres negotiated alliances with independent civilizations, offering security, technology, and trade benefits in exchange for loyalty, strengthening humanity's political position and isolating the Council further. Dr. Elena Vargas' team unveiled a new generation of adaptive weapons capable of countering alien energy shields and hyperspace cloaking, giving humans a technological edge that alien scientists could neither anticipate nor replicate in time. Psychological operations became a crucial component of human strategy, sending precise communications to alien commanders, exploiting fear, confusion, and doubt, resulting in mass desertions and surrenders before battles even commenced. On the front lines, Captain Aaron Blake's Horizon executed surgical strikes against Council fortresses, disabling weapon systems, severing command networks, and creating openings for human forces to secure entire star systems with minimal resistance. Intelligence networks revealed vulnerabilities in Council coordination. Rivalries between species exploited to create internal conflict, while humans maintained absolute operational secrecy, leaving alien leaders unaware of the full scale or intent of human maneuvers. In the Lyther Expanse, human forces use a terrain of asteroid fields, gravitational anomalies, and dense nebulae to outmaneuver superior alien numbers, ambushing capital ships and supply convoys. The Council's inability to respond effectively led to catastrophic losses, as fleets were destroyed or forced into retreat. Morale among alien populations plummeted, rumors of human invincibility spreading rapidly, further weakening the Council's influence. President Hayes coordinated efforts to integrate occupied systems into the human coalition, establishing governance, security, and resource management while maintaining allegiance and support of local populations. Strategic decisions were informed by real-time intelligence, ensuring that each operation contributed to the larger campaign of galactic control. Admiral Kline's fleet continued to secure hyperspace nexuses, trade routes, and communication hubs, effectively cutting off Council forces from coordination and resupply. Human fleets operated with the efficiency and precision of a single, unified organism, while alien forces floundered in disarray. Diplomatic channels were used to negotiate defections, secure intelligence, and maintain momentum, ensuring that each victory further consolidated human dominance. Scientists continued developing technologies that enhance fleet speed, firepower, and adaptability, allowing human forces to remain several steps ahead of the Council's reactive strategies. Psychological warfare extended to alien civilians, demonstrating the futility of resistance and encouraging collaboration, further undermining Council authority. Every engagement reinforced the narrative of human supremacy, alien forces unable to comprehend the combination of tactical brilliance, technological innovation, and coordinated execution that humans employed in sectors previously considered secure. Humans infiltrated command centers, repurposed weapon systems, and neutralized strategic positions without alerting enemy forces. The Council's once feared fleets now found themselves trapped, isolated, and vulnerable, unable to mount coherent defenses. As humans advanced, the galaxy began to recognize that dominance was determined not by size, resources, or prior control, but by ingenuity, adaptability, and the will to act decisively. On Earth, President Hayes addressed the coalition, emphasizing the importance of maintaining ethical conduct, unity, and strategic patience, ensuring that human influence will be sustainable and respected rather than imposed through fear alone. Captain Caldwell led operations in the Verilian cluster, coordinating simultaneous strikes against multiple alien fleets, using synchronized maneuvers, precision weaponry, and advanced reconnaissance to disable enemy forces without excessive collateral damage. The Council's remaining fleets fragmented, and demoralized, struggled to regroup, each decision hampered by mistrust, fear, and conflicting objectives, while humans continued to expand their sphere of influence with remarkable speed and efficiency. Admiral Kline executed the seizure of the Orveth Gate, a hyperspace nexus critical to Council logistics, bypassing orbital defenses through stealth operations and decoy deployments, securing a strategic advantage that allowed humans to dictate the flow of reinforcements, supplies, and intelligence. Alien commanders were left scrambling, unable to predict or counter human intent. Every maneuver, whether military, technological, or diplomatic, was executed with coordination, precision, and foresight, demonstrating the depth of human planning and the breadth of their capabilities. Psychological impact on alien species was profound, fear and uncertainty eroding cohesion, encouraging defections and ensuring that resistance became increasingly futile. Human forces now controlled critical sectors, supply lines, and hyperspace lanes, the Council's arrogance and overconfidence having led them to underestimate a species that had mastered the combination of intelligence, strategy, technology, and adaptability. The stage was set for humanity to assert full command over the galaxy, reshaping the balance of power and establishing a new era where the stars were no longer controlled by the old Council, but by humans who had proven, through discipline, ingenuity, and resolve, that they were the architects of the future. As human control expanded across the galaxy, alien resistance became increasingly fragmented, the Council species turning on one another in desperation, while humans exploited every weakness. Intelligence operatives identified fractured loyalties, rivalries, and hidden conflicts within the Council, turning them into opportunities for strategic gains. Captain Aaron Blake coordinated a campaign across the fractured Trivani Rim, using simultaneous strikes, decoy fleets, and cloaked transports to disable critical outposts and communication arrays. Alien commanders were bewildered as entire sectors seemed to vanish from their control without warning. President Daniel Hayes continued to integrate occupied systems into the human coalition, establishing governance, logistics, and defense networks while maintaining strong alliances with newly sympathetic civilizations. Ambassador Lena Torres leveraged these victories to negotiate favorable treaties, creating a network of cooperation that isolated the remaining Council powers further. On the technological front, Dr. Elena Vargas unveiled adaptive weapon systems capable of automatically analyzing and countering alien defenses in real time, from shield arrays to energy disruptors, giving human forces an insurmountable advantage. Fleet movements became increasingly complex and coordinated, exploiting hyperspace anomalies, gravitational fields, and celestial formations to ambush, evade, or overwhelm alien forces. Every engagement was a demonstration of strategic foresight and meticulous planning. The Council attempted a counteroffensive in the Velric Expanse, deploying superior numbers in an effort to regain lost ground. Yet human commanders anticipated every move, employing feints, false communications, and pre-positioned strike teams to neutralize the offensive. Alien fleets were decimated before they could execute coordinated attacks. Morale plummeting as the reality of human superiority sank in. Psychological operations amplified the effects, with human messages broadcast across Council territories highlighting their victories, emphasizing futility of resistance, and encouraging defections. Dr. Morgan's research teams advanced propulsion technologies, allowing fleets to appear in multiple sectors within hours, striking in ways that alien commanders could neither predict nor counter. Admiral Victor Kline executed operations in the Dorathus Nebula, a key logistical hub, using cloaked frigates, automated mines, and diversionary maneuvers to isolate and neutralize alien reinforcements. Alien fleets trapped in tactical bottlenecks were systematically destroyed or captured, while humans secured control of critical infrastructure. The Council's inability to coordinate further exposed their weaknesses, allowing humans to consolidate power across multiple star systems with minimal resistance. Civilian populations in liberated regions recognize humans as protectors, not conquerors, inspired by the efficiency, discipline, and fairness demonstrated in human administration. Ambassador Torres' diplomatic efforts ensured loyalty and cooperation, reinforcing human control and further eroding Council authority. Across the galaxy, humans employed a combined strategy of military, technological, and psychological operations, ensuring that each victory compounded the effects of the previous. With alien fleets increasingly isolated, supply lines severed, and command structures disrupted, Captain Caldwell's vanguard executed simultaneous strikes in the Karath sector, using hyperspace ambushes, gravitational anomalies, and synchronized attacks to dismantle enemy formations. Human forces operated with precision, efficiency, and coordination that alien commanders could not comprehend. President Hayes oversaw a multi-layered campaign integrating strategic, operational, and tactical objectives, ensuring that human expansion was deliberate, sustainable, and ethically conducted. Admiral Kline's fleet secured critical hyperspace nexuses, trade routes, and communication nodes, cutting off Council reinforcements and isolating enemy fleets, while human intelligence continued infiltrating alien networks, feeding accurate information for subsequent operations. Technology remained a decisive factor: adaptive weaponry, autonomous repair drones, and quantum communication systems, allowing human forces to maintain a persistent presence and operational superiority across vast distances. Alien morale collapsed, defections and surrenders increasing exponentially, while humans consolidated control, establishing secure logistics, governance, and defense in every liberated sector. Psychological warfare continued to undermine alien cohesion, exploiting fear, uncertainty, and mistrust to further destabilize resistance. Human victories accumulated with relentless consistency, demonstrating the combination of strategic brilliance, technological innovation, and adaptability that made them unstoppable. In the Dorathus Nebula, human forces neutralized key Council positions, repurposed defenses, and secured critical infrastructure, ensuring that alien attempts to regroup or counterattack were futile. The Council's arrogance and overconfidence had led them to underestimate a species that combined intellect, discipline, and audacity in ways no other civilization had experienced. Across the galaxy, the pattern was undeniable. Humans dictated the tempo, controlled the flow of battle, and shaped the strategic environment to their advantage. Every action calculated to maximize effectiveness, while minimizing unnecessary losses. Captain Blake's Horizon and Captain Caldwell's vanguard continued operations in tandem, their fleets executing complex maneuvers that outclassed superior numbers, alien commanders increasingly unable to respond. President Hayes' coalition building and strategic oversight ensured that every victory translated into lasting control. Dr. Vargas and Dr. Morgan's technological advancements maintained human superiority. Alien fleets no longer pose a threat, and Council species increasingly recognize the inevitability of human dominance. Psychological and diplomatic operations ensured minimal civilian resistance, fostering cooperation and stability across newly liberated systems. Humans were no longer just participants in galactic events. They were shaping the future, establishing control, and demonstrating that mastery of intelligence, technology, strategy, and willpower was the ultimate determinant of power. The Council's miscalculation had unleashed a species capable of achieving what no alien civilization had anticipated. The stars themselves were now under human command, a testament to preparation, ingenuity, and a refusal to accept imposed limitations. The galaxy was witnessing the dawn of a new era, one dictated not by age-old empires, but by humanity, whose combination of audacity, precision, and intelligence had proven unstoppable. Every Council attempt to resist was systematically neutralized, every strategic move countered, and every victory celebrated not as conquest, but as a demonstration of humanity's unparalleled capacity to rise, adapt, and dominate. The tide had irrevocably turned, the stars themselves bending to human will. The Council now forced to recognize that their centuries of control had ended, replaced by a species that had been underestimated at every turn, but had now proven its supremacy beyond doubt. Humanity's consolidation of galactic power continued with meticulous precision. Alien fleets increasingly incapable of coordinated resistance. Captain Aaron Blake coordinated simultaneous operations across multiple sectors, exploiting hyperspace lanes, gravitational anomalies, and sensor blind spots to ambush, isolate, and neutralize enemy forces. President Daniel Hayes oversaw the integration of newly liberated systems, establishing governance, resource distribution, and defensive networks, while maintaining strong alliances with sympathetic civilizations. Ambassador Lena Torres negotiated treaties that strengthened the human coalition, ensuring loyalty, cooperation, and intelligence sharing. Alien species formerly loyal to the Council began to defect en masse, their fleets disbanding or surrender without a fight as human psychological operations amplified fear and uncertainty. Dr. Elena Vargas' adaptive weaponry and autonomous repair drones allowed human forces to maintain operational superiority even in sectors far from Earth. Human fleets move with unprecedented speed and precision, striking in multiple locations almost simultaneously, alien commanders unable to predict or counter human movements. Strategic victories accumulated, each operation further consolidating human control. In the Trivani Rim, Captain Mia Caldwell's vanguard executed a complex ambush, cloaked transports infiltrating defensive perimeters, while decoy fleets drew enemy attention alien. Ships were systematically disabled or captured, hyperspace lanes secured, and critical infrastructure repurposed. The Council's attempts to regroup failed, internal rivalries and fear-driven decisions further undermining their ability to resist. President Hayes coordinated a series of diplomatic initiatives, ensuring that occupied populations remain cooperative while fostering loyalty through protection, technology sharing, and fair governance. Admiral Victor Kline led the seizure of the Orveth Gate, a hyperspace nexus critical to Council logistics, employing synchronized strikes, automated mines, and diversionary tactics to cut off alien reinforcements and secure human dominance. Alien morale collapsed, fleets stranded and isolated, while human intelligence operatives infiltrated command networks, feeding real-time information to fleet commanders, allowing precise, coordinated responses across the galaxy. Human forces employed a combination of military, technological, and psychological operations to maintain initiative, dictate engagement terms, and exploit Council weaknesses. Dr. Morgan's propulsion advancements allowed human fleets to appear in unexpected locations, conduct rapid strikes, and withdraw before alien forces could react. Strategic use of terrain, from asteroid fields to nebulae, enabled ambushes and defensive advantages that alien commanders could not anticipate. Civilians in liberated systems recognized humans as protectors and leaders inspired by the discipline, efficiency, and fairness of human administration. Ambassador Torres' diplomacy further isolated the Council, securing alliances that provided intelligence, resources, and reinforcements, ensuring that human operations remained sustainable and strategically sound. Captain Blake's Horizon and Captain Caldwell's Vanguard continued coordinated strikes, dismantling Council fleets, disabling key defensive positions, and establishing human control over vital star systems. Psychological operations targeted alien populations, broadcasting evidence of human victories, highlighting the futility of resistance, and encouraging further defections. Technological superiority remained decisive, adaptive shields, energy disruptors, and quantum communication networks, allowing human forces to operate with unmatched coordination and flexibility. Alien fleets increasingly trapped, unable to mount effective defenses, while humans consolidated control, integrating infrastructure, command networks, and supply lines into a coherent, efficient system. Every engagement further demonstrated human tactical brilliance, strategic foresight, and adaptability. President Hayes' oversight ensured that victories translated into sustainable control and lasting influence. Every conquered or allied system reinforcing the broader coalition. Admiral Kline's fleet secured hyperspace nexuses, trade routes, and communication hubs, denying Council forces the ability to regroup, resupply, or coordinate. Intelligence operations provided continuous situational awareness, enabling preemptive strikes and countermeasures. Human forces maintained initiative at all times, alien commanders increasingly aware that traditional tactics, numerical superiority, and previous assumptions of dominance were no longer effective. Psychological impact extended beyond military forces to civilian populations, eroding Council authority and fostering acceptance of human governance. Technology continued to evolve, with Dr. Vargas and Dr. Morgan refining weapons, propulsion, and AI systems to maintain a decisive edge. Humans effectively orchestrating a multi-front campaign across the galaxy. Alien resistance fragmented, isolated, and demoralized. Strategic momentum unstoppable. Captain Caldwell's Vanguard exploited environmental hazards and celestial phenomena to further neutralize Council fleets, while Captain Blake's Horizon coordinated simultaneous strikes on multiple fronts, demonstrating the unprecedented operational capability of human forces. President Hayes integrated intelligence, diplomacy, science, and military strategy into a unified framework, ensuring each human action contributed to broader goal of galactic command. Every victory reinforced human superiority. Every council attempt to counter human advances failing due to foresight, preparation, and adaptability. The galaxy increasingly recognized that humans had redefined power, dominance, and strategy, establishing control not through intimidation alone, but through discipline, innovation, and calculated action. The Council's arrogance, long unchallenged, now shattered, their fleets disbanding, systems defecting, and authority collapsing. Humans were no longer merely participants in galactic affairs, but the orchestrators of a new order, a species whose combination of intelligence, strategy, technology, and will had proven unstoppable, the stars themselves bending to human command, demonstrating that underestimated, dismissed, and disregarded, humanity had risen to master the galaxy with unmatched precision, audacity, and foresight. Humanity's dominion over the galaxy continued to expand with unparalleled efficiency. Alien forces, increasingly unable to mount coherent resistance, Captain Aaron Blake coordinated simultaneous campaigns across the Velric and Koroth sectors, using hyperspace routes, gravitational anomalies, and cloaked transports to outmaneuver, ambush, and neutralize enemy fleets. President Daniel Hayes oversaw the integration of liberated systems into the human coalition, establishing governance, security, and resource networks while fostering alliances with neutral civilizations. Ambassador Lena Torres negotiated treaties that further isolated the remaining council powers and secured support from previously skeptical species. Alien populations, witnessing repeated human victories, increasingly chose defection over resistance, entire fleets surrendering or dissolving before engagements. Dr. Elena Vargas' technological innovations, including adaptive weapons, energy disruptors, and autonomous repair drones, allowed human forces to maintain operational superiority even in sectors distant from Earth. Fleet movements became increasingly sophisticated, striking simultaneously in multiple locations. Alien commanders unable to anticipate or respond effectively, strategic victories accumulated, each operation reinforcing human control. In Trivani Rim, Captain Mia Caldwell executed precision ambushes using decoy fleets, cloaked frigates, and synchronized maneuvers to disable enemy defenses, capture strategic positions, and secure hyperspace lanes. The Council's attempts to mount counteroffensives failed, internal conflicts, rivalries, and fear-driven decisions undermining coordination. President Hayes coordinated diplomatic initiatives to ensure civilian cooperation, offering protection, technology, and fair governance to newly integrated systems. Admiral Victor Kline led the decisive seizure of the Orveth Gate, critical to Council logistics, employing synchronized strikes, automated mines, and feints to isolate enemy fleets. Alien morale collapsed as ships became stranded, command structures disrupted, and reinforcements denied. Across the galaxy, human forces combined military, technological, and psychological operations to maintain initiative, dictate the terms of engagement, and exploit Council weaknesses. Dr. Morgan's propulsion advancements allowed rapid redeployment, enabling surprise attacks and swift consolidation of conquered sectors. Strategic use of environmental hazards such as asteroid fields, nebulae, and gravitational anomalies allowed human fleets to outmaneuver superior numbers. Civilian populations in liberated regions recognized humans as protectors, inspired by the discipline, efficiency, and fairness of human administration. Ambassador Torres' diplomacy further reinforced human authority, securing intelligence, resources, and loyalty. Captain Blake's Horizon and Captain Caldwell's Vanguard executed coordinated strikes, dismantling Council fleets, disabling key installations, and consolidating control over vital star systems. Psychological operations broadcast human victories to alien populations, emphasizing futility of resistance and encouraging further defections. Technological superiority ensured human forces remained agile, coordinated, and decisive. Adaptive shields, energy disruptors, and quantum communication networks maintaining operational supremacy. Alien fleets increasingly trapped and demoralized, while humans integrated infrastructure, command networks, and supply lines into a unified system. Each engagement showcasing human tactical brilliance, foresight, and adaptability. President Hayes ensured victories translated into sustainable control. Admiral Kline secured hyperspace nexuses, trade routes, and communication hubs, denying the Council any chance to regroup or resupply. Intelligence operations provided continuous situational awareness for preemptive strikes. Human forces, maintaining the initiative at all times. Alien commanders increasingly aware that traditional tactics, numbers, and prior assumptions of dominance were no longer effective. Psychological impact extended to civilian populations, eroding council influence and fostering acceptance of human governance. Technology advanced further with Dr. Vargas and Dr. Morgan refining weapons, propulsion, and AI systems to maintain decisive edge. Humans orchestrating multi-front campaigns across the galaxy. Alien. Resistance fragmented and demoralized. Strategic momentum unstoppable. Captain Caldwell exploiting environmental hazards and celestial phenomena to neutralize council fleets. Captain Blake coordinating strikes on multiple fronts demonstrating unprecedented operational capability. President Hayes integrating intelligence, diplomacy, science, and military strategy into a unified framework, ensuring every human action contributed to the broader goal of galactic command. Every victory reinforcing human superiority. Every council attempt to counter advances failing due to foresight, preparation, and adaptability. The galaxy recognizing humans had redefined power, dominance, and strategy, establishing control not through intimidation alone, but through discipline, innovation, and precise execution. The council's arrogance shattered, fleets dissolving, systems defecting, authority collapsing. Humans no longer participants but orchestrators of a new galactic order, a species whose intelligence, strategy, technology, and will have proven unstoppable, the stars themselves bending to human command, demonstrating that a species once underestimated had risen to master the galaxy with unmatched precision, audacity, and foresight. Every maneuver, every operation, and every strategic decision reinforcing the inevitability of human supremacy. Alien powers forced to acknowledge that humanity had become the defining force across the galaxy, reshaping its balance, dictating the terms of engagement, and asserting control over the stars in ways that no species had ever imagined possible. The Council's centuries-long dominance finally yielding to the discipline, ingenuity, and relentless drive of humanity, marking the beginning of a new era where the stars were under the guidance of those once dismissed and underestimated. Humanity's control of the galaxy solidified as alien resistance continued to crumble. Captain Aaron Blake directed coordinated operations across the Velric, Karath, and Durathis sectors, using cloaked fleets, hyperspace ambushes, and adaptive drones to dismantle remaining council forces. President Daniel Hayes oversaw governance and resource distribution in newly integrated systems, establishing secure logistics, defensive networks, and diplomatic relations with neutral civilizations. Ambassador Lena Torres negotiated treaties consolidating loyalty, intelligence sharing, and strategic cooperation. Alien species formerly allied with the Council increasingly defected, surrendering fleets, bases, and resources. Dr. Elena Vargas' adaptive weaponry and autonomous repair drones ensured human forces maintained operational superiority, capable of rapid strikes and sustained campaigns without vulnerability. Captain Mia Caldwell executed precise maneuvers in Trivani Rim, exploiting environmental hazards and decoy fleets to ambush and disable alien forces. Critical hyperspace lanes and communication nodes secured. The Council's attempts at counteroffensive repeatedly failed. Internal disputes and fear-driven decisions further undermining their command structure. President Hayes implemented comprehensive diplomatic initiatives to maintain civilian cooperation, offering protection, technology, and fair governance, while ensuring the loyalty of newly liberated systems. Admiral Victor Kline led decisive operations to seize hyperspace nexuses and strategic gates, isolating Council forces, preventing reinforcements, and consolidating human supremacy. Alien morale collapsed as fleets became stranded, command networks disrupted, and reinforcements denied. Psychological operations broadcast human victories galaxy-wide, emphasizing futility of resistance and encouraging further defections. Technological superiority remained decisive, with adaptive shields, energy disruptors, and quantum communication networks maintaining human operational advantage. Alien fleets increasingly trapped, outmaneuvered, and demoralized while humans integrated infrastructure, command networks, and supply lines into a coherent, efficient system. Every engagement demonstrating human tactical brilliance, foresight, and adaptability. President Hayes ensured victories translated into lasting control. Admiral Kline's forces secured trade routes, communication hubs, and key star systems, denying the Council the ability to regroup or resupply. Intelligence networks provided continuous situational awareness, enabling preemptive strikes and precise deployment of fleets. Human forces maintain initiative at all times, alien commanders increasingly aware that conventional strategies, numerical superiority, and prior assumptions of dominance were ineffective. Psychological impact extended to alien civilian populations, eroding loyalty and fostering acceptance of human governance. Technology continued to advance, with Dr. Vargas and Dr. Morgan refining weapons, propulsion, and AI systems to maintain decisive advantage. Humans orchestrating multi-front campaigns, alien resistance fragmented and demoralized, strategic momentum unstoppable. Captain Caldwell exploited environmental hazards to neutralize remaining Council forces. Captain Blake coordinated simultaneous attacks on multiple fronts, demonstrating unprecedented operational capability. President Hayes integrated intelligence, diplomacy, science, and military strategy into a unified framework, ensuring every action advanced Galactic Command objectives, every victory reinforcing human superiority. Council attempts to resist failing due to foresight, preparation, and adaptability. The galaxy, recognizing humans had redefined power, dominance, and strategy, establishing control not through intimidation alone, but through discipline, innovation, and precision. The Council's arrogance shattered, fleets dissolving, systems defecting, authority collapsing. Humans no longer participants but orchestrators of a new galactic order, a species whose intelligence, strategy, technology, and resolve had proven unstoppable, the stars themselves bending to human command, each maneuver and operation reinforcing the inevitability of human supremacy. Alien powers forced to acknowledge that humanity had become the defining force across the galaxy, reshaping its balance, dictating terms of engagement, and asserting control in ways no species had previously imagined. The Council's centuries of dominance yielding to the discipline, ingenuity, and relentless drive of humans, marking an era where the galaxy recognized that underestimated species had risen to master the stars with precision, foresight, and audacity unparalleled in history. Every star system under human influence demonstrating a combination of strategic brilliance, technological superiority, and moral authority that secured humanity's place as the uncontested power across the galaxy, leaving no doubt that the era of alien domination had ended, replaced by human command. The stars themselves now a testament to their ingenuity, courage, and unrelenting determination, every operation consolidating their supremacy, every strategy executed with precision, leaving the Council fragmented, desperate, and powerless. The galaxy irrevocably changed as humanity assumed its rightful place as the master of the stars, orchestrating a future defined by intelligence, adaptability, and unyielding resolve. Humanity's dominance over the galaxy reached its culmination as the Council's remnants scrambled in vain. Captain Aaron Blake's fleets executed synchronized strikes across all contested sectors, using cloaked transports, hyperspace ambushes, and adaptive drone swarms to neutralize any remaining resistance. President Daniel Hayes coordinated the administration of newly integrated systems, ensuring secure governance, logistics, and communication networks while maintaining alliances with neutral civilizations and former Council territories. Ambassador Lena Torres consolidated treaties, guaranteeing loyalty, intelligence sharing, and cooperation across the human-controlled galaxy, alien populations, witnessing the relentless efficiency, strategic brilliance, and disciplined conduct of humans, increasingly surrendered or defected, offering fleets, resources, and infrastructure. Dr. Elena Vargas continued technological innovations, from adaptive weapon systems to autonomous repair and supply drones, ensure that human forces maintain complete operational superiority, capable of sustained campaigns and rapid response across thousands of light years. Captain Mia Caldwell orchestrated precision maneuvers in strategically vital sectors, exploiting gravitational anomalies, asteroid fields, and nebulae to ambush, isolate, and disable Council forces while securing hyperspace lanes, communication nodes, and resource hubs. The Council's remaining leadership, paralyzed by internal conflict, fear, and conflicting objectives, failed to coordinate any effective counteroffensive. President Hayes implemented diplomatic programs to integrate liberated systems into the human coalition, fostering civilian cooperation, loyalty, and economic stability, while mitigating potential unrest. Admiral Victor Kline's forces seized every remaining Council-controlled hyperspace nexus and strategic gate, isolating enemy fleets, cutting off reinforcements, and consolidating human supremacy. Alien morale collapsed entirely, fleets stranded, command structures broken, civilian population submitting to human authority. Psychological operations reinforce these effects, broadcasting the futility of resistance and the inevitability of human control. Technological advantage continue to guarantee operational superiority. Adaptive shields, energy disruptors, and quantum link communication networks allowing human fleets to act decisively and with unmatched coordination. Alien forces, increasingly trapped, isolated, and demoralized, while human forces integrated captured infrastructure, logistics networks, and defensive installations into a unified system. Every engagement showcasing tactical brilliance, strategic foresight, and adaptability, President Hayes ensuring victories translated into enduring control and governance, Admiral Kline securing trade routes, communication hubs, and star systems to prevent any Council resurgence, intelligence networks providing continuous, real-time situational awareness, enabling preemptive operations and precise fleet deployment. Human forces maintain initiative at all times, alien commanders powerless to respond effectively, psychological impacts spreading across populations, eroding loyalty to the Council, fostering acceptance of human governance, technological advancement ensuring continued supremacy, Dr. Vargas and Dr. Morgan refining weapons, propulsion, and AI systems to sustain decisive advantage, humans orchestrating. Multi-front operations, alien resistance fully fragmented, strategic momentum unstoppable. Captain Caldwell exploiting environmental hazards to neutralize final enemy positions. Captain Blake coordinating attacks across multiple fronts, demonstrating unprecedented operational capability. President Hayes integrating intelligence, diplomacy, science, and military strategy into a cohesive framework, ensuring every human action advanced Galactic Command objectives, victories reinforcing human supremacy. Council attempt at resistance failing due to foresight, preparation, and adaptability. The galaxy recognizing humans had redefined power and dominance, establishing control through discipline, innovation, and precision rather than intimidation alone. The Council's arrogance shattered, fleets dissolved, systems defected, authority collapsed. Humans now the orchestrators of a new galactic order, a species whose intelligence, strategy, technology, and resolve proved unstoppable. Stars, themselves bending to human command, every maneuver and operation demonstrating the inevitability of human supremacy. Alien powers forced to acknowledge that humanity had become the defining force across the galaxy, reshaping balance, dictating engagement, and asserting control in ways previously unimaginable. Centuries of alien dominance replaced by human command. Every conquered or allied system integrated into a unified coalition, demonstrating strategic brilliance, technological superiority, and moral authority. Leaving no doubt humanity had risen to master the stars with unmatched precision, foresight, and audacity, every operation consolidating control, every strategy executed flawlessly, the Council fragmented, desperate, and powerless, the galaxy irrevocably transformed, humans firmly in command, orchestrating the future with intelligence, adaptability, and unyielding resolve. Securing their place as the undisputed masters of the stars, the underestimated species now revealed as the ultimate power in the galaxy, their supremacy absolute, final, and unchallenged, the stars themselves a testament to human ingenuity, courage, and relentless determination, marking the dawn of a new era where humanity ruled with precision, wisdom, and unstoppable force, forever altering the destiny of the galaxy.